So we are on lessons 11 and 12. Lesson 11 is dealing with slicing solids. So we're going to see what shapes we can get when we slice a three-dimensional object. So we have prisms, pyramids, and polyhedra. Describe each shape as precisely as you can. So the first image is a triangular prism with a base that is a right triangle. So you see the little right angle, that's the right triangle. The second image is a rectangular pyramid, so they're kind of going up, with a vertex that is not centered over the base. And the third image is a prism with a base that is pentagon. So this is your base right here. See how it's a pentagon? It's like the base is on the side. So what's the cross section? Here is a rectangular prism and a pyramid with the same base and same height. Think about slicing each solid parallel to its base halfway up. What shape would each cross section be? What is the same about the two cross sections? What is different? So both objects have a cross section in the shape of a rectangle. The difference is that the rectangle on the prism is the same size as the base. But the rectangle on the pyramid is smaller. Okay? So think about slicing each solid parallel to its base near the top. What should each cross section be? What is the same about the two cross sections and what is different? So again, both objects have a cross section in the shape of a rectangle. The rectangle on the prism is still the same size as the base. But the rectangle on the pyramid is much smaller. Okay. So we're skipping the card sort. Moving on to point 4. So I have to draw and describe each cross section. So I'm just going to kind of show you what happens. Here is a picture of a rectangular prism, 4 units by 2 units by 3 units. A plane cuts the prism parallel to the bottom and top faces, so it's going this way. The plane moves up and cuts the prism at a different height, so it cuts it differently. A vertical plane cuts the prism diagonally. A square pyramid has a base that is 4 units by 4 units. Its height is also 4 units. So a plane cuts the pyramid parallel to the base, just like that. A vertical plane cuts the prism. A cube has an edge of length 4. A plane cuts off the corner of the cube. And the plane moves farther from the corner and makes a cut through the middle of the cube, like so. And so a cross section, so the two-dimensional face is a cross section. Many different cross sections are possible when slicing the same three-dimensional. So I need you to circle this or whatever. To define what a cross section is. So now we're moving on to lesson 12. So the volume of right prisms. Rectangles A, B, and C represent bases of 3 prisms. So there you go. Prism C will have the greatest volume, and prism A will have the least. Since the volume is the area of the base multiplied by their height, the base will, with the greatest area will have the greatest volume, even if all the heights are the same. So if each prism has the same volume, which one will have the tallest height and which one will have the shortest? Prism A will have the tallest height and prism C will have the shortest. Since the volume is the area of the base multiplied by the height, the base with the smallest area will have the tallest height, and the base with the greatest area will have the shortest height. Say hello to Ollie, who's learning with us. So, says your teacher will give you a paper with a shape on it and some snap cubes. So I'm kind of show you kind of like a sample of what could have happened. So using the face of a snap cube, use your area unit with the unit. What is the area of the shape? So the area would be 27 units squared. So like saying 3 times 3 plus 3 times 6. This is 18 and this is 9. So that's 27. Really, Ollie? So add another layer of cubes on top of what you have built. Describe it. It is a prism. With a base in the shape of an L. What is the volume of your object? So if my object has a height of 2, I take 27 and multiply it by 2 and I get 54. So that is my volume. So if my height is 5, I multiply it by 27, which is 135 units cubed. Ooh. And then 8.5 times 27 is 229.5. Okay. So now I meant to bring my laptop over here to show you the prisms, but I will put a picture in the comments of this video, or maybe attach it to the post. But figure A was a square prism, and so yes, it's a prism. The area of the prism base is 25 centimeters squared, and the height is 5 centimeters. If you multiply those two together, you get 125. Figure B is a prism, and it's a pentagonal prism. The area of the prism is base is 15 and the height is 15. You multiply those two together, you get 225. Figure C is not a prism, it is actually a hexagonal pyramid. Figure D, it is a prism, and it's a triangular prism. The area of the prism base is 24 centimeters squared, and the height is 6 centimeters. You multiply those two together, you get 144. Figure E is not a prism. Figure F is a prism. It is a rhomboid prism, so it's a prism made of rhombuses. The area is 35 and the height is 3. You multiply those two together, you get 105. So there are 4 different prisms that all have the same volume. Here's what the base of each prism looks like. So you have to order the prisms from the shortest to the tallest. So your height, it would kind of be the center. So that would help you base that. So my shortest is D, and then B, A, C, since a larger base area means the height of the prism must be shorter to maintain the same volume. So the volume of each prism is 60 units cubed. What would be the height? So if my area of A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So area equals 8. I take 60 divided by 8 and I get about 7.5 units. So that's the height of prism A. For B, I have an area of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 60 divided by 6 is 10 units. For C, I will end up doing 60 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, about 14. And so I'm going to round it up to about 5 units. And prism D, it's by 5. So that's 12 units. For the height. So the volume is, for any volume other than 60, what would be the height? So if I had, so let's see, if the volume is 48, then prism A will have a height of 6 units. Prism B will have a height of 8 units. Prism C will have a height of 4 units. And prism D will have a height of 2.4 units. And so now we are done with that part. So now I need you to go onto Google Classroom and complete the lesson 11 and 12 practice problems on Google Classroom.